Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Parent-Teacher Bridge. Today is Mailbag Monday. Our question today comes from Joanna, who writes, should I start my kindergartner ahead a grade level since he is so advanced? Well, Joanna, you're definitely not the only parent to be asking that question recently, as more and more parents are considering homeschooling. I've certainly seen similar stories online lately with other parents. So let's get down to the meat of it. Do you have plans for your child after the typical graduating age of 18 or so? I want you to consider that if you do skip grade levels with your child's homeschooling, just keep in mind that you will have a rather young graduate. Now, maybe you have a child who is very, very academically driven, and you plan to go on and do many, many things at a younger than normal age. After all, you know your child best. For me, I didn't see a need to send my child off to college at a much younger age than his peers. I took a lot of other things into consideration, such as maturity and confidence level as well. So I looked for other ways to challenge him since he was working at an advanced level. Here are some I'd like to share with you. Number 1, switch to a more rigorous curriculum. So there are lots of homeschool curriculum companies to choose from, almost too many. I find myself looking at reviews of them on YouTube where other parents can actually share the book and flip through it and tell me what they think. I look at different reviews that I may see on Amazon. But what I do know is that they're not all created the same, nor are they created for the same type of learner. And this is something you might want to look into. Some are more rigorous and challenging than others, and some are definitely a little bit more basic. Some constantly review, and some just teach a skill and move on, expecting that your child has mastery much, much quicker. Here's an example. For math, I use Singapore math with my children. For every semester, I can order an A book or a B book, and that would cover most of the year, a textbook and a workbook. But I've also taken the opportunity to order intensive practice books, which expose my children to lots of different math puzzles and word problems they normally wouldn't have gotten in the regular curriculum. And trust me, we do not finish the school year early. That gives them plenty of things to do. Number 2, order materials for the next grade level above. Most curriculum companies have a diagnostic test that you can print or take online, and it will show you what level of the book that you need to buy for your child. That doesn't mean that you're officially skipping your child a grade level or you're trying to graduate them earlier, but it can provide that opportunity for you to give your child a bit of a challenge. You definitely don't want to have them working on something that is far too easy for them, as they will become bored. But think about this. In many traditional brick and mortar schools across the country, kindergartners come on a wide range of skills. You have some children who learn their ABCs when they are 2, and other children who don't learn them until they are 5 or 6, and children learn to read at different levels. But in those brick and mortar schools, the teachers have to realize that they need to meet the needs of each child. And sometimes that means they can't teach everything at the same time. So in those cases, the parents aren't asking that the children be advanced an entire grade level. They just want to make sure that the teacher can differentiate and still provide some challenging activities that are more on their child's level, whether that be first grade or second grade. You can definitely do the same when you're working at home. Number 3, choose opportunities to enrich your child's education. So here is something to think about. Education is more than just finishing a textbook, going to the next one, finishing a textbook, going to the next one. What do I do? My child is finished. I need to order the next one. I need to go on. It's more than that. You have such wonderful opportunities when your children are at home with you. They are seeing you run errands all the time. They are seeing you manage a household, or maybe even work a part-time job or a full-time job. I've definitely heard parents homeschooling in that capacity as well. So let's think about, what other skills can you teach your child outside of the textbook? Here are just a few ideas just to get your brain thinking that I teach my children at home that are not necessarily in a textbook. Fire safety, stranger danger, how to bake or cook, how to walk up and make a food order or purchase an item at a store, how to write a letter or card to cheer someone up, how to be a team player or develop sports skills, how to play an instrument and listen attentively to those who are performing, how to build different tools and toys, making changes along the way, Legos, cardboard, duct tape, etc., how to make a phone call and answer the phone. What other skills can you think of to add to this list? Add a comment below. Allow your child to build on their interests. Every child will be interested in something. It may be something small like a TV show right now or a small toy. But as long as you're exposing them to ideas and activities beyond the textbook, beyond what they just see on their kid TV shows, you'll find that they will get an interest in something, and allow them to research that. Check out library books on the topic. Go on field trips related to that. Allow them to role play around that topic or build things. I love unit studies. And when my son was interested in boats, he took a liking to the Mayflower. We took that opportunity to study about the Pilgrims and their coming to America. We read books, we drew pictures, we built things out of Legos, we watched some documentaries and discussed it together. He's going to remember that so much more because he had fun exploring the topic. So follow your child's interests. One last thought, parents. Just because your child may be significantly ahead in kindergarten does not mean it will always be that way. Kindergarten is notorious for having large gaps of learning from child to child based on their maturity level or their preschool experiences. When my son was first learning to read, he was pretty good at it, but it took him a while for his maturity and stamina to catch up to the point where he could read an entire page full of words, even though I, his mother, knew that he could read every word on the page, no problem. By the time his maturity and stamina caught up to that point where he could read an entire page of words, well, other children who had not learned to read as early had already gotten to that point. So keep that in mind. Just because your child is ahead by what seems like, several grade levels right now does not mean that it will always be that case. Our children are unique individuals, and you know your child best. Think about the end goal, what you want for them when they're graduating, and what kind of person you are looking to raise as you make these decisions, because as we've seen, there's lots of things you can do in between that will enrich your child's education. Do you have an idea or a thought, question that you would like to add? Please write it in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to get my free guide, 5 quick tips to immediately help your struggling reader. Remember, you are your child's most influential teacher.